these beautiful potatoes growing in this little 3-gallon bucket. Guten gardening, everybody. Well, just over 100 days ago, we came and planted a whole bunch of different potatoes in some free plastic buckets that we've been getting from the bakery of our local grocery store. So free container gardens here. They're about 3 gallons. Some of them are 4 gallons, but most are 3-gallon buckets. And we planted 2 potatoes in each one to see how well they would perform. As I mentioned, we got some different varieties here, so I'm excited to see just how well they did growing outdoors. Let's get started with this potato harvest. Now you can definitely see some greenery left on some of these potatoes, but you can also see, this appears to be one of our French fingerling potatoes. You can also see some critters are getting in here, and I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to go ahead and get these harvested and see how well they did. I'm going to start up at the other end. So the way I prepared these buckets for planting, I drilled some holes in the bottom. These holes are bigger than the holes I drilled in some of them. I added a couple inches of mix, and then I added my seed potatoes. And once they started growing pretty well, I went through and added some more mix on top. Now, I think I should have probably added a couple more inches of mix to each of these containers, but I was a little bit late getting back from one of our vacations this summer, and I may have missed my window there. Now, that being said, I did write on the outside of these buckets what I planted inside, but this one clearly washed off even though I used a Sharpie, so it'll be kind of a surprise to see what's growing inside. So we planted these on June 18th, and I can tell you already, I know exactly what's inside of this. These are the red potatoes that we saved from the grocery store. Look at this. The roots have filled up so much that I'm able to pull the entire amount of mix out of here. So let me just shake this off. Let's just shake it off here and take a look at what we're exposing. These beautiful potatoes growing in this little 3-gallon bucket. All right, look at the size of these. Not too bad, huh? Not too bad for some store-bought reds that were saved. Actually liking this quite a lot. Let me shake the rest of the mix off here. Yeah, this produced really, really nicely. Hey, one of the things we've been focusing on this potato growing season was how many different ways we could grow potatoes. And part of the rationale behind that was to be able to say, if you don't have a lot of space, you can still grow your own potatoes. And I think these buckets are going to be proof of exactly that. And not only that, but that you can grow potatoes pretty inexpensively as well. All right, bucket number 1 is now fully harvested. And as I think you can see pretty clearly, we did all right. So I mentioned we have a couple of different varieties. So some of them are definitely going to be those red store-boughts. These are French fingerlings. So these are 4th generation French fingerlings. This is the 4th year we've been growing them. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull it up just like so and see what we've got growing in here. Take a look at this. This is actually a really cool way of harvesting these potatoes because I'm able to just take a look underneath because it all comes out at once. That's pretty nice, huh? All right, take a look at these potatoes. Just get this all worked off here. And there they go, coming off really nice sized fingerling potatoes. Our French fingerlings are one of our favorites. I say that about just about every kind of potato. To be fair, I don't think we've grown a potato variety that I didn't absolutely enjoy. I don't think there is one out there. I don't know. Have you grown a potato variety that you did not like or did not enjoy the taste of? Let us know in the comments. All right, let's take a look at what we got from our second bucket. All right, to be fair, so far this harvest is an absolute blast. All right, I think this variety is one that we had just lying around in the kitchen. So I don't know what this is exactly. Oh, now I know. This is the purple Viking potato. Not a massive one here, but this is one that we just had lying around our kitchen from trying to grow them last season. And they, I know, can be, I mean, this is a nice size for them, but they can get a lot bigger than that. Oh, there's a nice little worm. Thank you so much for your work, worm. They can get a lot bigger than that, and I know that because our indoor potato harvest was absolutely, we had some massive purple Vikings. This purple Viking potato is purple and pink kind of colored on the outside. Inside it's a white potato, really tasty. Okay, not a ton of those in here. To be fair, those potatoes when I planted them were really sprouted. Here we go, there's a couple more. So not a ton in here, but what I can definitely say, these are gonna be delicious. All right, let's move on to our next bucket. All right, this bucket's gonna be another one of the reds we saved potatoes. You know, for 79 cents per 5 pounds, I think we saved for these something like 5 bags of them to try to grow again. And that's exactly what we've done. These are store-bought, which means they are not ones that are certified seed potatoes, yet we're still getting some really nice potatoes out of here. Look at this. Look at the size of the ones that I've got in here, jammed into this bucket, jam-packed into this bucket, this small 3-gallon bucket. Tell me you couldn't find a space somewhere outside, on your patio, maybe even in your kitchen, somewhere where you could put a bucket this size. Look at it. That is not a big bucket. Somewhere you could put a bucket this size and grow some of your own potatoes. All right, let's go ahead and see how many potatoes we got. Oh, wait. How many potatoes we got from this bucket? Well, this is definitely our best bucket so far. Those potatoes are phenomenal. If you're enjoying this potato harvest video so far, go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps us out. All right, let's go to our 5th bucket. All right, this bucket contains Rocky Mountain russet potatoes. Now, Rocky Mountain russets, these came to us from one of our community members, and he's also the person that got us some Adirondack blues a couple years ago and some Adirondack reds that we're going to be harvesting later this season as well. Let's take a look at these russets. Now, for a russet potato, you would expect some more size than this, yes? So these are kind of small in the bucket. I don't know that every single potato variety is a fit for this type of gardening, or this type of container, I should say. But I can tell you, we still got some decent russets. They're just not all that big, but they're definitely going to be good eating. All right, let's see if I missed any down in here. Yep. Oh, there's a couple in here still. Take a look at this. That's probably our biggest couple down toward the bottom of this container. These are the first ones I'm seeing with potato scab on them. The skin of these are really, really rough right now. But so far, there's nothing in here. Not a lot of damage that I'm seeing beyond what I saw early on in that one bucket where the potato at the surface had some insect damage. There's still quite a few potatoes from this bucket. All right, we're back to some more reds we saved. I'm not ever going to say that that's a bad thing at this point, because these have performed the best of any that I've seen so far in these buckets. The reds we saved are really, really paying us back now. They're saying thank you for keeping them around to grow. Look at the size of these grown in buckets. Now, I've seen a lot of people grow in the 5-gallon buckets. I think the 5-gallon bucket's a fantastic size. You could probably get even more size out of them. But I'm showing you now and proving to you, I think, that you don't have to have a bucket that big and you can still be successful growing your potatoes. All right, the outside of this bucket says kitchen reds, which means these are not the store-bought reds. These are some other red potatoes that I didn't know what they were, but they were also in our kitchen, so I planted them. So let's see what we got down in here. Some misshapenness there. These are a lighter skinned red potato. I'm not 100% sure what this is, which leads me to believe we had a couple mixed that we had harvested in previous seasons, just sort of, well, lying around. I just picked a couple of them and put them in here. They didn't perform that well, but that's another variety to add. All right, these are French fingerlings, and this is what I was talking about earlier with that damage that I saw to one of the potatoes. This is what was left behind from that damage. But let's see what's under the surface. I mean, that first set of French fingerlings did just fine. Let's shake these down. Ooh, nice. Couple really nice ones here toward the bottom. Let's keep shaking this off and see what else is attached. There's the mother potato right there, at least one of the mother potatoes. That one that I had eaten up most of the way was probably the biggest one in the container. The ones that the voles tend to go after tend to be the biggest potatoes. Why is that? It's almost like they're selective. No, I know they're not being selective. All right, here's what we ended up with out of that bucket. There were a couple hiding down below that were pretty nice. That's a nice harvest. All right, our last bucket is another new variety. This is yellow fin potatoes. What I'm seeing already here though, maybe not a ton of size for these yellow fins. The yellow fin are certified seed potatoes. You can't always say that you're going to get a massive harvest necessarily from the certified seed potatoes, but let's see. There's a nicer one. We still got a few in here with decent size. Okay, there's not massive, but we grew some yellow fin in our roost stout bed, and I think they actually performed a little bit nicer. Of course, roost stout beds, the one we have has a good bit more space than this. With that being said, let's see if there's anything down on the other side. Again, 100 days in, and we could have placed these buckets anywhere. They're so easy to pick up, easy to move around. If we're having a problem with pests or something in one area, we can move them somewhere else. Super easy to grow in. And did I mention that we've been getting them for free? How fun was that harvest? Super simple. I mean, these potatoes, this is French fingerling right here, very easy to harvest out of the buckets. And the space savings of this, the ease with which we can move around, etc., I think makes growing in buckets worthwhile. We grew some in buckets last season over the winter. We're going to do that as well again this season. Oh, you know what surprised me the most out of all this though? Was just how nice the store-bought reds were. That was our best producer in these containers. That's fantastic. I absolutely love it. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe got a little potato growing inspiration. So maybe now you find yourself considering whether or not you want to grow potatoes in buckets. If you can get a hold of some, we're going to say definitely it's worth it. Give it a try. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give us a like. Leave us a comment. Remember to share and subscribe. And most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow.